Welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. Yes, indeed, it is Monday, y'all. It's going all the way up. There's a lot happening, and it's all for the better. All right. I wish nothing but great things for you guys. I only want to hear great things from you when you reach out to me. Okay, if you have bad news, just don't even do it. I really want people to feel good, and I want them to have a great time with this time period that they have, this existence right here. And with that being said, you guys, take the concentrated strength assessment below in the description and do it over and over and over again. I'm now commanding you to do this. The reason why is because I've just realized how incredibly impactful it is. Whoever they is, right? I keep saying they, but let's just say it's the devil, man, distracting you. All right. It's set up, life is set up to where it makes you super distracted on a whole bunch of different things. And because of that somehow creates an insecurity within you. And now that I know that, it's time to build, because the concentrated strength makes you focus on one thing. We're all over the place. That's part of the problem, is we're all over the place. There's too many different things going on, and we don't take enough time to just focus, just block and focus on one thing. I just did my assessment, and 5 minutes took like 5 hours in my mind because I was so ready to move, to do the next thing, to look around, when I was focusing, I chose to focus on this microphone knob, right? It's kind of small, but not too small. And the smaller you go, the more focus it's going to take, the more concentrated strength it's going to build. And I'll go into why that is later, but what that's doing is it's allowing you to have inner patience with yourself. And it's interesting how it heightens your awareness, simply because just looking at one object for 5 minutes or more, in the last 25 seconds, and I looked, I broke the concentration, because even after I was like, okay, it has to have been 5 minutes. After I look off, I'm like, okay, wait, refocus. It felt like it was taking forever. So then I did a second look off, a second break in my concentrated strength, and decide to look at the timer, and it was 25 seconds. In that last 25 seconds, you guys, it felt incredibly, I can't even talk right now, because it's the way that it's helping me to understand what happens when the phone does that. That's how the phone is designed. There's like pop-ups and notifications, and it's all in these different little places that it makes your attention, it spreads your attention too far. And that's creating insecurity in us, y'all. That's really crazy. Because if you think about it, that trickles into when you are maybe walking down the street or something like that, and you make eye contact with someone, you immediately want to look away. Why? It's just an ingrained habit. It's just an automatic mechanism. And a lot of the stuff that we're doing with the multitasking and with the phones and different electronics is it's making us do that without us knowing it. Now, I'm not about to go on a technology ban or nothing like that, but I'm just able to see how that it's like a mechanism in you. It's just a mechanism in you that says, look away. And you have to strengthen that back to be able to keep that focus, because it creates strength within you when you can continuously look at another human being. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure, we won't go into that, but you feel more confident, you appear more confident when you can do that. Not in a very offensive manner, but when you're just able to like hold a conversation and continuously keep eye contact, that's a sign of strength. That's a sign of confidence. So what I can say about all of this is we have to, we just got to practice it, because I could say limit the technology, but then I have to do these videos. I'm doing interviews. I'm doing a lot of stuff, scheduling on my phone. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to limit it, because I'm utilizing the technology as the tool it is. So that's why you just go on the double offensive. It's just like when two teams play together and they really don't have any defense. It's like they just go high power offense. And so that's what in this situation we're going to have to do, because to defend against that is going to be difficult, simply because you need a lot of those things that create those mechanisms, such as the computer or your phone. So because of that, then you just have to double up, and you got to practice now focusing on one thing. Otherwise, you're really never going to do it. That's the thing. That's what's happening. It's being removed. It's being removed. So you got to insert it. And who knew? Like, how do you figure that out? That's a really sneaky, wow. It's really tripped out. And it may not be on purpose. But to dive into things like that, which are subatomic, because you can't tell, you can't feel, well, you can feel it. You can feel what you're stretching. It's your mind when you're able to continuously focus like that. And that was another thing that I noticed, that I was just like, okay, this is different. 5 minutes looking at one object, reasonably small, and not breaking the focus. Sticking to it as best as you possibly can. I even admitted I looked away twice at like 4.5 minutes. So that's why I'm like, okay, no, there's something to this. Cause I don't really know why I had to break contact. I heard a little noise. I don't know. It was weird. It was like I got my fan on, something blue. I just had to look. It's very interesting to me, but that's something that's going on in us. Like, we are being pulled, we're being siphoned for our attention, and you got to be able to control that. So that's what I got for you guys. You got to go through that assessment. You must. It is an absolute must, because now that I'm going through it, and I just went through it a few moments ago before I decided to make this video, which is what created this video, is because I was like, oh my goodness, that's being removed from our living experience. That's deep, y'all. That's really, really deep. And you can't visibly see that. And because I dive so deep into self-development and how can we be better as human beings, it allows me to just be more aware of the things that I maybe appreciate or I get excited about, because those things make me feel like I'm going in a positive direction. And so that's always a great feeling to a human being, period, is if they feel like they're going in a positive direction, they're going to feel great. And that's what that feels like. The why doesn't really matter to me. It's just that feeling of, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. There's something to that. Because you know when you don't feel like you're going in the right direction, it's not a good feeling at all. It's confusing. So this assessment, this free assessment, y'all, that I've given you guys is it's very key. And I really didn't know. I didn't know the gravity of it. I mean, when I created it, I didn't know the gravity of it just a week ago. Just now, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. So, for those of us that wanna really level up, it's things like this that are gonna help us. And I've said before where I got this information from. It's from a very old book that was written in like early 1900s. I think that's what it's called. I think that's exactly what the book is called. I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's very important. It's a very important skill. It's a human mechanism that's very advantageous when it comes to operating in this 3D realm. That's just what it is. That's just how it's just the science of it. Like gravity, like I always say, there's laws that we abide by on this planet, and that's what we have the opportunity to look at. And there's a lot that you can see, but there's a lot that you can't see either. Because as far as how you guys are listening through a particular medium to hear this, to even hear this, to say the internet, like, what is that? And so when you really think about those things, like truly, and I know it's a tool and you use it and it's part of our culture, but to really try and identify what is that miraculous being placed in existence for our tools, for our utilization. That's what is really interesting, guys. Don't just let somebody create it and then just be like, oh, okay, it's cool, I'll use it. No, be fascinated with how the idea came into existence. That's where it's like, wait a minute, okay. So somebody thought of a place we can go into in a cyber network of some sort. Like, but what is cyber? It's like, what is that technology that we've created to where we can all communicate instantly? That's very interesting. And so when you break things down like that, you start realizing that that's what I'm saying, like, computers are fascinating, but the human computer, and I use that term very, very loosely because I don't want people to think it's just zeros and ones, like it's just very mechanical, even though I say mechanistic and stuff like that. I'm only basing it off of something that we can all relate to. That's the only thing I can really tell you. But we are in existence. We're something that we have no idea, y'all. We have no idea the capabilities of our own selves. And that is what I'm truly, truly fascinated by, which is why I'm willing to do self-work, to go on here live and to say things and to continue to deep think about life and stuff like that, is because I want to spark the curiosity of someone else just like that and see their perspective on it, because it's going to be different. That's one of the grand beauties of life, is that everybody can come up with completely different ideas. We all can agree, a majority, there's a fan base, there's things like that. But there has to be a pioneer, there has to be an originator, and so that's the thing. That's the thing. It starts with one. It starts with one. And so if you can grasp that, idea and really think like, I have something in me that I can create that can be really beneficial to the world, and just really know that that's the truth. Even if you don't have it right now, just know that that's the truth. That's the 100% truth, that you have something you could literally create because you have a mind, you have a brain. You're walking around here. Because what we've seen, all the things that have been created, TVs to dressers to spoons, y'all, have all been created by a person. Some stuff we take full for granted. But when you really deeply think about, a human being thought of this and now we use it or we see it, that's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. Everything, y'all. You can go really basic. I'm in my room, of course, so I'm looking at closet doors. I'm looking at doors, ceiling fans. Like, somebody thought of that, y'all. Somebody just like you. Isn't that interesting? And so I'm like, let's keep it coming. Let's go. Let's get the ball rolling. I'm doing what I feel like I need to do. I'm doing my best to showcase, my mind, my talents and stuff like that. So it's like, it feels great. And I would like people to do the same, because I like seeing other people's talents when they really tap into themselves, and it's not for the constructive, the reality that we set up for ourselves as far as having to work for money and paying bills and rent and blah, blah, blah. If we had the opportunity to just really get down to what we wanted to create, if you had an entire existence to dedicate that to, that's why you see sometimes parents be going crazy making their kids into athletes, because they know you dedicate your life to this, you'll be great. It's automatic. All you got to do is love it, is really, really like it and want to play it and want to get better at it. Or not want to play it, but want to create it. However you want to look at it. But that's my 2 cents, y'all, is definitely take the assessment. That's why the topic today was concentrated strength, because it's very important. It's very important. It's very important. It helps us to become better human beings, functioning wise. It just does. It just does, because we need that. That's like a part of us that we need to keep, and we're stripping it away from ourselves. Yeah, all inventions aren't super great, but it takes people like me to really think about stuff and to be like, okay, hey, we gotta at least figure something out to keep a part of us that's something that's helping us to grow and become better human beings. Because you want to be able to pay attention to somebody that's talking to you for more than 5 minutes. That's one of the major reasons why this is so incredibly needed right now. Because if we can't do that to ourselves, what makes us think we can do that for somebody else? And so then there's a breakdown of people caring for each other. And that's a whole different ripple effect that we want to avoid. So, yep, we got the Mindset Matters Institute, y'all. All right. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're going to do open enrollment. So stay tuned for that, because I take you through the concentrated strength along with a incredible program that helps you to find yourself. All right. Building a new program, the entire Mindset Matters program, encompassing spiritual, it's mind, body, soul, basically. Mind, body, soul. All right. And it covers a little bit of basics, like taking care of your health and your financials, just very, very on a basic level, which is what a lot of us don't have. I did not have it, y'all. I barely knew how to save money. I barely knew how to pay myself first. And I met people, and that's what allowed me to be able to understand it. Like, oh, okay. It was weird. I think I read about it. I think I've heard about it multiple times, but I still didn't understand the concept, you know? So now hey, I was a banker, I was a stockbroker. I know how to give you basic information, really basic information, because that's really all we need to start off with. It doesn't have to be too complicated. You need some basics, just like I was saying, admire the basics of life. People creating spoons, that's a very basic thing right now, but in the time frame, it probably was one of the greatest inventions ever. Like, oh, but we don't think about that. We don't take that into consideration of how the human being has grown in its intellect and its wisdom. And so we just got to keep pushing it forward. So we can't lose certain things, which is why I'm telling you to do the assessment down below in the description. Okay. And so also go to mindsetmattersmore.store and pick up some gear. All right. You definitely want to pick up some gear, especially the crown gear, because that's going to help you to keep the mindset top of mind. All right. That's what it's about. And then stay tuned for a couple interviews. Got some interviews coming up Tuesday. Thursday, going to open up a new playlist with a brand new co-host, which is going to be incredible. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're going to keep it moving, y'all. We're going to keep it moving forward. Mindset matters more than anything else you already know. All right. Focus on the good, y'all. Let's keep it moving. And I will see y'all next time. Anytime.